And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Namaskar. Blessings to you. Wherever you are in the world, thank you for being here once again for another New Earth TV Live episode. So we're going to have some really exciting content ahead today for the webcast. I actually do see Mary's comment about the NASA rocket going to the moon. We're going to be looking into that when we get into Q&A. Okay, so like I said, the first hour is meditation, inner practices, distance healing. And then the second hour, we'll be getting into Q&A altogether. So again, if you do have some healing requests, and I would say just save your questions till we get into Q&A. And we'll be getting into those as well too. But first and foremost, we're going to go ahead and get started with some announcements. Beautiful, sacred geometrical clothing, apparel, and accessories imbued with spirit source energy to heal, rejuvenate, detoxify, and strengthen the body. Shop now at healingcodeshop.com.
The latest revelation in alternative healing has arrived. The Healing Code Cards, a spiritual technology unlike anything else. Through the power of sacred geometry imbued with pure source energy, physical ailments can become eliminated and detoxified from your body. 36 cards specifically designed to work on the major areas of the body, encouraging natural recovery and increased vitality. Working with the cards are easy, and their healing results are profound. Download our collection of free sample cards so you can experience results for yourself. And don't forget to view our customer testimonials. Our printed Healing Code Card deck is available now with shipping available worldwide. Visit our website at healingcodecards.com.
And there's an update on the Healing Code cards. They have now been reduced in price. So they are, again, quite a few dollars cheaper. And this is included for the printed and digital editions of the Healing Code cards from the Body deck, the Mind deck, and the Energy deck. So that is available now on healingcodecards.com. Again, I do have a small, limited quantity of the printed editions left, the Body, the Energy, and the Mind decks. So it's best to grab them while they're still around. But again, you can check this out now at healingcodecards.com. And another big announcement is I'm going to be resuming my sessions even past September right now. Okay. And I've also changed it to be 20, 30, and 45-minute sessions. They used to be 15-minute, 30-minute, and 45-minute. Now they're 20-minute, 30-minute, and 45-minute sessions available. So I have bookings open for September, mostly on the day of Wednesday. So that also goes for the 3-question email sessions as well. So I decided to do this because I've had quite a few people wanting to do sessions with me still. And I was going to originally take some of the time off so I could focus a lot more on the healing code technology. But I've kind of organized myself pretty well, so I have some available time. So I am taking session bookings for September, as well as into October, November, and December. So around December and January, I'll have some time off. But I will continue to do some session bookings for September, October, and November. So again, if you want to book a private session with me, now is the time to do it. You can go to newearthteachings.com and book a private session. And again, they're available in 20, 30, and 45-minute sessions. And I also have the 3-question email sessions done offline as well too. And so some people may ask me, well, Brad, what can I do with you in the private session? Pretty much anything you want. If you want a healing session, we can do a healing session. If you want to work with releasing, we can work with releasing. If you have any general questions, then that can be answered as well too. I'm a conduit for universal knowledge. So there's all kinds of great stuff we can do with a private session. 3-question email sessions are pretty limited because there's only so much we can do through 3 questions. But again, they're kind of for the person that's kind of on the go, maybe is a little shy of interacting face-to-face. But those are good sessions nonetheless. But private sessions, yes, we can talk about a great many things. So again, you can find out more on newearthteachings.com. And just a reminder that everything here on the YouTube channel is backed up onto Odyssey. So again, you can check out the Odyssey backup channel and follow along there if you like. The link is in the video description, odyssey.com/@newearthteachings. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started with today's webcast. Hello, everybody. Good to see you all here. People from South Africa, Norway, Denmark, Florida. Good to see you guys. Thank you for being here. Okay, so first and foremost, we're going to go ahead and do meditation. No, we're not doing the Astroforce today. Let me see if I can change the... There we go. That's better. Okay, so what we're going to do today is we're going to do what's known as the inner silence meditation. This is also known in Sanskrit as antarmona. Okay, so what this entails is that we're going to be working with different stages. We're going to be working with the body, we're going to be working with sensations, we're going to be working with thoughts, and then we're going to be going completely into the state of stillness at the end of the practice. Okay, so again, this is referred to as the antarmona meditation. There are other variations of this actually on YouTube as well too, but here today I'm going to be giving my own variation of it. So if you want to follow along with me, which I highly recommend, just get yourself nice and relaxed, nice and comfortable, making sure the spine is nice and straight. And I would suggest basically just sitting down, like either on a chair or you can sit cross-legged. I don't recommend laying down for this exercise. Usually some meditations it's okay to lay down, but I'd like you to be more in a seated posture for this. So either being seated in a chair or you can sit cross-legged on the floor, whichever you prefer. Okay? So just keeping your spine nice and erect. And we're just going to take a couple of deep breaths in and deep breaths out. So inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And one more time. Inhale. Exhale. And now with your spine nice and erect, keeping the neck nice and straight as well too. Just being aware of your body right now. Be aware of the stillness within your body. Just imagining like your entire body is made out of granite. And you're keeping your body very still. As still as you can make it. And we're now going to go into areas of the body where you are just relaxing with your awareness. Starting off with the toes, with the feet, with the ankles, just being aware, let them be relaxed. Be aware of the calf muscles, the shin bone, completely relaxed. Be aware of the knee joints, quadricep muscles, thighs, the hips. Feeling the spine nice and erect, but also being gentle as well, letting the spine relax even though it is erect. The abdomen, the lower back, the chest, the upper back. Bringing your awareness to the fingers, the thumb, the hands, wrist joints, the forearm, elbow joints, upper arms, shoulders nice and relaxed. Neck nice and long, but relaxed. Facial muscles relaxed. Top of the head relaxed. Back of the head relaxed. Just be aware of the entire body. And now I want you to be aware of the external sounds throughout your environment. Being aware of any external sounds that are close to you, within about a 10-foot radius. Just be aware of any nearby sounds. Just be aware. And now extending into any sounds from a distance, from 10 feet beyond. As far out as you can stretch your awareness. From the distant sounds, just be aware. Not attaching to any sounds, just being aware of them, just being the witness. And now bringing your awareness back to your body. And just being aware of sensations within your body. Being aware of the touch sensation. Feel the sensation of touch within your body. For as you are seated, your skin is touching material. Be aware of that sensation of touch. Your feet may be planted on the floor. Be aware of that touch. Feel the touch sensation within the body, feeling yourself breathe, feeling the air coming into the nostrils, feeling the air leaving the nostrils, feeling your lungs expanding and contracting, feeling the form of your body, the sensation of touch that represents the form of your body, feeling your own weight, feeling your own mass. Just be aware of the touch sensation overall. Just be aware. And now you are going to be aware of any thoughts within your mind. Do not try to restrict or shut out any thoughts. Let your mind be open, just like a reservoir that allows any thoughts to come into your mind. And all you are doing is just being aware of these thoughts. You are not attaching to them. You are not identifying to them. You are simply aware of these thoughts, however many there may be. Whatever their themes are, you are not concerned. You are the uninterested spectator. You are simply being aware as a witness to these thoughts. Just let these thoughts flow into your mind, not attaching to them, being the witness, passive observation. Just be aware of the thoughts, not attaching to their stories, just witnessing them, being the uninterested spectator. Just be aware. And now let yourself let go of these thoughts. Let them go, release these thoughts completely from your mind. Like you're just gathering them up and just releasing them completely from your mind space. And now you are going to create a thought. Creating a thought that exists within your past that may represent an unpleasant thought. Just remember that a thought is just a thought, and no thought can ever harm you. And you are just being aware of any unpleasant thought from your past, not attaching to the story, not trying to bring any other thoughts in, but just this one created thought from your past that may have been unpleasant. Just witnessing it, just being aware of it, not attaching to its story. Just be aware of the unpleasant thought that you have created. And now let go of this thought, release the thought completely. And now create another thought, a much more pleasant thought, a thought that brings you benefit, that brings you more of a positive energy. But again, not attaching to the thought, only witnessing it, not going in and involving yourself with its story, just being the passive observer and witnessing this more pleasant and positive thought. Just be aware. And now releasing this thought, letting go of that thought. And now you are within the blank state of the mind, the inner silence, what is known as antar mona. And just remain here in the blank state of your mind with absolutely no thought present. If by any chance any thought enters the blank state of the mind, release it immediately. Let go of it immediately, so that you may remain within the blank state, the inner silence, antar mona. Just be aware and be in inner silence. And now just being aware of your breath. Be aware of the breathing in and out through the nose. Being aware more of the body. Being aware of the touch sensation. Being aware of your environment. Being aware of the external sounds within the environment. And just slowly starting to make some movements with the body, being very gentle, curling the toes, rotating the wrists, and just taking your hands now, bringing them together, and just rubbing them vigorously. And now just take your hands and just rub them across the face, around the eyes. Giving yourself a face wash with the charged prana you built up. Take a slow, deep breath in and out through the nose. When you are ready, you can come back. And this concludes Antarmona, the inner silence meditation. Okay, very good. Thank you, everybody, for joining me for the guided meditation this week. So again, that is the inner silence. So as many of you may have seen with one of my new videos that is called The Abode, well, when you're in that state of inner silence, guys, that's the abode. Okay? That's exactly what it is. It's just the idea that you are, again, just being aware of thoughts. You watch those thoughts fade away. You see them become released. You create an unpleasant thought at first, and then we go into a pleasant thought secondly, because then you're kind of ending it on a high note, right? Then we push those thoughts away, and all we're doing is we're just observing the blankness altogether. That's it. That's what you're seeing exactly on the screen right now. The Chittakash, the mind screen that exists behind the eyelids. That's what you're seeing. And we just stay there. We stay there as often as we can, as frequently as possible. And if you guys ever want to know how to build up your intuition, if you want to really connect truly in oneness with the higher self, that's where you spend the most of your time. You spend most of your time in the inner silence. Okay? That brings you into the greatest heightening of your being that you could ever imagine, right? Some of us use mental exercises. We start doing Om chanting, which is good. We start doing some breath work, and that's good too. There are benefits through all of those. But if we really want to go into the deepest, to really integrate ourselves with the oneness of divine infinite intelligence, you work with inner silence. You work inside the abode, right? Like I said in the video, you feel the abode all around you, and it is the complete and total essence of permanence, right? It is that eternal permanence that's running in the background. And so the more that we are just simply tuning into that, which is effortless, by the way, the more that we truly feel that peace, that purity, and that perfection of being. So, Antarmona, the inner silence meditation, helps you to practice with that. So, continue to practice with this. It's highly beneficial. Okay, let's go ahead now and come back. So, next thing we're going to do is we're going to go into some distance healing. So that kind of was the inner practice and guided meditation today. Okay? So if you guys do have any healing requests, either for yourself or for others, you can feel free to put that now into the chat. And again, like I said, if it's anything, it's good just to describe what you're going through. That way I can look into, I can do a kind of a quick scan on the body, and then I can do some spirit healing work on your body, on the organs, or any other area that requires it. So again, if you guys want to put out a request for distance healing, either for yourself or for someone you know, you can feel free to do that now through the chat. So again, thank you everybody for being here. Glad to see so many people from all over the world coming here and tuning in. I appreciate it. Okay, so I do have a healing request here from Alina. Alina says, Brad, I will appreciate some healing with my right knee. Okay, great. So again, guys, if you want to have a healing request, make sure you want to, please let me know what you want to have me work on, okay? So I need that if I'm going to do a healing work on you, all right? So Alina says, Brad, I would appreciate some healing with my right knee. So Alina, yes, we will certainly do that now. So Alina, if you're with me right now, then just get yourself nice and relaxed, making sure your spine is nice and straight. We're going to take a couple of deep breaths in and out. So inhale. Exhale. Once again, inhale. Exhale. And one last time, inhale. Exhale. Okay. So Alina, right now I just want you to place your hands together in prayer posture. I want you just to imagine that your heart is opening up. You're feeling the light from the heart opening up, and that light is coming in between your palms. Okay, as it's coming in between your palms, we're now just expanding it. So as we inhale, we make the light brighter. As we exhale, we make the light bigger. Okay, so inhale, making it brighter. Exhale, making it bigger. Inhale, making it brighter. Exhale, making it bigger. And just continue to inhale, making the light brighter. Exhale, making the light bigger until you can no longer stretch your hands out. And that light is now completely pervading throughout the entire cosmos. And that light represents your love, your trust, and your faith. Okay? So again, as that light fully expands, just go ahead and place your hands either on your lap or you can place it on the center of your chest, whichever you prefer. And again, it is for your right knee. Okay? So we will go ahead now, and you can say the following affirmation, either out loud or in your mind. I strongly believe that the healing that I shall receive will heal me. Let's begin. Release. Okay, so Elena, just go ahead now and fully stretch your hands out once again. And we're bringing all of that light slowly back towards our heart. As that's happening, just saying the affirmation, God is making me better. 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 Bring all of that light back into the heart. And just take a moment. Deep breath in, deep breath out. You are radiant, you are well, you are pure, you are perfect. Infinite blessings to you, Elena. Namaskar, and thank you. Okay, so Elena, drink some water. Okay, get a good night's rest as well, too. Take it easy with your knee as work is being done upon it right now. Okay, blessings to you. Thank you very much. Okay, so let's go ahead and move down the list here. Okay, so again, guys, we're saving questions for later on. So yeah, if you guys have questions for Q&A chat, we're going to be getting to that shortly. Okay, I got a contribution here from BB Giddings. This is for requesting healing for my partner, Mark, above. Okay, great. So BB, we will certainly do that for Mark. So if Mark's not here, like I said, I'm just going to connect with his higher self, as this is for somebody else. All right. besides you, BB. So, BB, you can always do some healing work in the background if you like. That's fine. Okay, so I'm just going to be calling in Mark's higher self right now. Now, I didn't get too much about what the healing was, so I think what we're going to do is we're just going to do a general healing. But just for reference, guys, if you do have a healing request, please let me know. If it is for a person, that's great. But what is it specifically that you would like to have worked on them? Okay, that just helps. Otherwise, we just do a general healing altogether, okay? So again, calling in Mark's higher self, being present with me now. Okay, so I'm feeling his higher self with me now. Just having his higher self, placing the hands in prayer posture, expanding the light out, making that light as vast as the cosmos. And just stating the affirmation, I completely believe that the healing that I shall receive will heal me. Okay, we will go ahead now and begin. Okay, into Mark's higher self, just bringing that light back into the heart. God is making me better. 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 Bringing all of that light back into the heart. And Mark, you are divine, you are well, you are pure, you are perfection. Infinite love and blessings to you. Namaskar. Okay, thank you, BB, for the request. So again, just tell Mark just to drink some water, take it easy today, get some rest, and maybe even do some meditation as well, too. I think that will help him out as well. Just did a general healing with him altogether, full body. Okay, thank you for your request. Okay, let's go down the list here a bit more. Okay, this one here is from Michelle Chambers. Michelle also has an issue with her right knee. So that's the second person with a right knee issue. Interesting. Okay, Michelle, so no problem. So Michelle, if you're here with me right now, just go ahead and again, keep your spine nice and straight. You can place your hands upon the center of the chest. Just take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. Placing your hands in between, placing your hands in the center of the chest. Opening up the heart, feeling the heart light. Expanding out from the heart, putting it in between the hands here in prayer posture. And again, as you inhale, take a deep breath in, brightening up the light. As you exhale, expanding the light. Okay, and just expanding that light as far and wide as your hands can stretch. Feeling all of that light permeate throughout all of the cosmos, representing your trust, your love, and your faith. And again, repeating the affirmation, I completely believe that all the healing that I shall receive will heal me. And we will begin. Okay. So, Michelle, just taking the light now back, just bringing it back into yourself, bringing it back towards the heart. God is making me better. God is making me better. God is making me better. Bringing all that light back into the heart. You are divine. You are well. You are pure. You are radiant. You are perfection. Infinite blessings to you, Michelle. Namaskar. Thank you. Okay. Very good. Thank you, Michelle. So again, drink some water, get some rest. All right. Okay, going down the list. Okay, just give me a moment here, guys. Just got to find my place back in line here. Okay. Okay, this one here is for Linda Lacas. So Linda asks for healing for the gums and the teeth and the eyes. Okay, so Linda, we'll certainly do that for you right now. So hands in prayer posture, opening up the heart, feeling the light through the heart, coming in between the hands, expanding that light out, making it brighter as you inhale, making it bigger as you exhale. Expanding that light out as far and wide as you can till your hands can reach no further. Representing your love, your trust, and your faith. Saying the affirmation, I completely believe that the healing that I shall receive will heal me. Okay, and we'll begin. Okay, Linda, expanding your hands out, bringing that light back in, retracting it back into your heart. God is making me better and better. God is making me better. God is making me better. Hands in prayer posture. Take a deep breath in and out. You are beautiful, you are radiant, you are pure, you are perfection. Namaskar. Thank you. Okay, moving on. Okay, this one is from VM. VM just below Linda here. Some healing for back pain for VM. Okay, so VM, placing your hands in prayer posture. As you breathe in, making the light brighter. As you exhale, making the light bigger. Inhale, making it brighter. Exhale, making it bigger. And stating the affirmation, I completely believe that the healing that I shall receive will heal me. Okay, and we'll begin. Okay, VM, bringing the light back in now. God is making me better. God is making me better. God is making me better. Bringing the light back into the heart. You are divine, you are pure, you are radiant, you are perfection. Infinite blessings to you, VM. Namaskar. Okay. So we're going to take 2 more healing requests, then we're going to do a group healing. Then we're going to move on into Q&A. Okay, so 2 more healing requests. Okay, this one here is from Toby. Toby says, wife has kidney stones. Okay, so Toby, if you want to offer healing assistance in the background, you certainly could. You certainly can. And then finally, I'll go to Mario. Mario will be the last person for the personal healing requests. Then we'll go into a group request, or a group healing. Okay? So Toby, with your wife, no problem. I will go ahead and call in her higher self to be present with me. Like I said, feel free to bring healing in the background if you like to as well. Okay, Toby's wife's higher self is now present with me now. Okay, expanding the hands out, bringing all-pervading light throughout the vast cosmos. I completely believe that the healing that I shall receive will heal me. And we'll begin. And bringing all that light back into the heart now. God is making me better. God is making me better. God is making me better. And to Toby's wife, infinite blessings to you. You are radiant, you are pure, you are divine, you are perfection. Namaskar. Okay. Thank you very much. I'm just getting high off all this healing. It feels wonderful. Not a care in the world. It feels great. Okay, so last person is Mario. So Mario says, hi Brad, my sister Lulu got divorced recently and is suffering a series of health problems. Okay, so I think we'll do a full body spirit healing for her, for Lulu. So Mario, again, you can go ahead and you can bring loving energy to her in the background. And if anybody else wants to bring loving energy to her, more than welcome to go ahead and do so. All right, so I'm just calling in Lulu's higher self right now. Lulu's higher self is present. Very good. Okay, expanding the light. Letting it permeate the vast cosmos. Stating the affirmation, I completely believe that all the healing that I shall receive will heal me. And we will go ahead now and begin with Lulu's healing. Okay, so the higher self now, just retracting all of that light back into the heart. God is making me better. God is making me better. God is making me better. Lulu's light returning back into her heart. And to Lulu, infinite blessings to you. You are perfection. You are divinity. You are the divine. Infinite love, infinite blessings to you. Namaskar. Thank you. Okay, guys, I just gotta take a minute because I'm like super high right now. I just try and reground myself here. There's not even a single thought within my mind right now. It's just just floating in bliss. That's the wonderful thing about just facilitating this healing work with Spirit doing the work. You're just floating in bliss. You're like in the higher heaven. It's wonderful. Okay, everybody. So the next thing we're going to go ahead and do now is we're going to do the group healing. Okay, so now if you want to not just do this for yourself, but if you have a request as well too for another person in your life who you feels could use this healing as well too, just have them in your thoughts, have them within your intention as well too, that this healing is also dedicated for them as well. Okay. So all I want you guys to do right now is just go ahead and do a body scan on yourself. So just keep your spine nice and straight. Just starting from the top of your head, just imagine like a beam of light is just going down the body nice and slowly. Starting at the head, going down the neck, the chest, the abdomen, lower back, the waist, the hips, the thighs, the knees, shins, the ankles, the feet, the toes, all the way down to the bottom of the feet. And just be aware of something that you feel stands out very strongly that you're now ready to let go of. Okay, just something that stands out very strongly that you're willing to let go of. And also there's going to be any surface debris that may be upon you is also going to be flushed out through the group healing as well too. So you're going to have the moment to place that one thing that you are now ready to give up into the ball that will surround you. So everybody's going to be encased in a spirit ball. As everybody gets encased in a spirit ball, I will cue you. Cue you. I'm not going to kill you. Sorry for my speech impediment, guys. I will cue you. C-U-E. I will give you the cue. I'm so high, you can tell right now. It's amazing. So I will give you the cue, and then you will place that one thing, that one element that really stands out with you, and just putting it directly in front of you. And you will watch that entire element dissolve before your eyes. Okay? So just get yourself nice and comfortable. Take a deep breath in, deep breath out. And I will now bring forward the spirit ball. And now if you want to devote and dedicate this healing practice to somebody else in your life, you can go ahead and put that intention in now. And now I just want you to feel this gigantic spirit ball just shrouding your entire body. From the top of your head down to the bottom of your feet. And every single one of you who participates, a spirit ball is now encapsulated around the entire body. Okay, and you can just place your hands now in prayer posture. And now just expanding your heart light out, just as you witnessed before. Okay, have that light permeating the entire cosmos. And stating the affirmation, I completely believe that the healing that I shall receive will heal me. Okay, so let us begin. Okay, and now with that element that you are now ready to let go of, just feel yourself extracting it from your body and just put it directly in front of you, just like it's a ball. A ball that contains that element of what you are now completely letting go of. And just watching that now as spirit dissolves that ball right before your eyes. And you can also feel the excreting of all surface debris, any surface-based emotions, any surface-based pain, any surface-based mentalities, just excreting out of your body just like it's a mist. And as that mist excretes out of your body, you're just seeing it vaporize directly before you as well, alongside the ball containing that specific element that is now dissolving entirely before you. And just let yourself relax, just let yourself be. Just remain in the abode. And just surrender to everything. And now with that pure intention of awareness, just let everything release. No thought needed, just a simple intention of awareness. It is already done, it is already released. Okay, reaching our hands out now, just bringing all of that light back in. God is making me better. God is making me better. God is making me better. God is making me better, bringing all of that light back into the heart. Every single one of you is pure love. Every single one of you is pure divinity. Every single one of you is pure divinity. Every single one of you is pure perfection. Infinite blessings. Namaskar. Okay, and when you're ready, just start to gently bring some movement back into your body, curling your toes, moving your hands, rotating your wrists, moving your fingers, fluttering your eyes, rotating your shoulders too if you like, and returning back into the present moment. I just got to take a minute, guys. I'm so completely ungrounded and in my high heaven right now. I can barely even form words right now. That's how much in bliss I am right now. It was wonderful. It's a good thing I have an earthing mat right underneath my feet, so that really helps. Hope you guys are feeling really great from that group healing. Okay, you can let me know how you're feeling in the chat if you like. If you want to keep it to yourself, that's cool too. As long as what Spirit is doing for you is making a difference, that's all that matters. I'm not doing anything, guys. Spirit's doing all the work. Brad's nothing. Brad's nobody. Brad doesn't have any abilities whatsoever. It's all Spirit. It's what Spirit gives me that makes all of this possible. Okay. Namaskar. Thank you very much, everybody. That was quite the trip, quite the experience. Okay. Okay, Victoria says the back pain is gone. Oh, that's great. Wonderful. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. So again, guys, if you're just tuning in right now, you can just go back to the recording, okay? And you can go ahead and you can do the group healing through the recording if anything's bothering you, okay? Even if you have a request for a loved one, like I said, just dedicate that intention for the group healing to them, and they will receive it at the same time through you because you're acting as the proxy, okay? Very good. Yeah, I can tell why you guys are feeling lighter. Like I said, I'm feeling super light, so. All right. Okay, guys, so I think I'm pretty composed, and we can go ahead now and go into. Maybe I'm not fully composed yet. I'm still getting like these. I wouldn't call them brain farts. It's more like bliss farts. Still just getting myself nice and aligned here. Okay. Okay, let's go to the live chat. Let's get some Q&A going. Okay. So as I promised in the very beginning, Victoria, thank you for your donation. Appreciate that. As I said at the very beginning of the broadcast, we're going to tackle the question here that Mary had. Mary says, "Hi Brad, can you tell us anything about this NASA rocket going to the moon? So I didn't even know about this. I was actually just looking at it this morning, and I saw the article about that, and I actually did a tarot reading about that this morning, so I was quite curious about it. So basically what I got, and this is some very, very good news, is that the counterforces have completely taken over the space agencies. All right? The Dark Cabal no longer runs the space agencies anymore. This has actually been going on for a while. It's actually been like that for a couple of months. So NASA, in that sense, is now going to start going through transition at the same time as well. So I think they're going to get a lot of their old Cabal agents out of the way, and there's going to be some new agents coming together to fill the spots. But basically what I was getting is that this may actually be a genuine operation. I'm not too sure if they're actually going to fly the actual rocket to the moon or anything like that. I think that's still being used as an alibi. But I think it's actually going to be some genuine information to tell the public in time more about the moon. Okay? So I'm not talking about like what happened back in the 60s with the Stanley Kubrick production of the moon landing. Humanity has certainly been to the moon, but basically the elites altogether, okay? And they've been on there since about the 1940s, 1950s. They had their superiors, you could say, take them up to the moon because there's resorts on the moon. There's bankers' resorts on the moon, or at least there used to be. And that was since around the 1940s, 1950s in that way. So humanity, even if it is the elites, have been to the moon, but it has not been publicized. What we got back in the 60s was just the idea of a Stanley Kubrick production. Okay. So now what's taking place, from what I was getting from the cards, is they're basically doing this as a screw you to the Dark Cabal, right? So, and of course with Musk doing his thing with SpaceX, like I said, I think all of that is just for show. That's just kind of dramatization, because they're not going to use such absurd, primitive technology to go up to the moon. We have anti-gravitic spacecraft as well, all of that. Okay, so that again is just for show. That's just for dramatic flair. But they are planning on doing this to basically, like I said, give the middle finger to the Dark Cabal and saying, we're going to expose the moon. We're going to do some space agency operations that is now going to welcome in some more spacefaring disclosure to the public here very, very soon. Okay. So this is part of a plan, an orchestration that they've had for quite some time, and it feels like they're taking over NASA. They may have be taken, again, SpaceX is done with Musk, so again, he's part of the alliance. So multiple space agencies are now under the jurisdiction of the counterforces. So maybe they'll start sharing some information about the moon. Maybe they'll start admitting that the moon actually has an atmosphere. Maybe they'll start admitting that we can start looking into the dark side of the moon and that there may actually be structures there. Who can say? I can't say how long this is going to take place, like how long over a duration, how much of this is going to be revealed. But it's a really, really good thing. It's actually meant to bring more ruin to the Dark Cabal, to a lot of their secrets. So their secrets are going to be majorly exposed surrounding the moon. All right? And of course, there's going to be some other secrets exposed very soon, right? Some people are wondering about 9/11. Yeah, that's going to be exposed in time as well, too. It's just all about the idea of it coming about the right timing, right? The stars have to align, and then the switch can be thrown. So there's no exact time, no exact date for when that's going to be happening. But as we're moving from the end of 2022 right into 2023, which is the year of reset, it wouldn't surprise me if we're getting a lot of secrets exposed, especially as we come into next year, right? So that's basically what's happening. So this whole thing about rockets in that sense, like I said, I think that's just dramatic flair. I think that's just window dressings, okay? But they're actually going to be exposing more information about the moon, and it's going to be a very, very big victory. So there is going to be some information about the moon. I think it's going to be kind of watered down at first, and then it may start to build itself up more a lot more. Okay, so like I said, it's kind of like you have to do the baby food principle. Okay, you have to kind of spoon feed baby food at first, and then we can start handling some bigger and bigger meals. Now, of course, a lot of us who have done research, a lot of us who have been doing this work for quite some time, already know what's happening, right? We kind of have an idea about, structures on the moon, bases on the moon, ancient ruins on the moon, that the moon has its own atmosphere. That's exactly why it has a sonoluminescent effect. That's why sunlight is able to appear on the moon. That's why we have moonlight, right? It's just a reflection of the sun. That's sonoluminescence, like I've talked about. Just like in regards to how the Earth receives its sunlight, right? Its own warmth, its own light, while the moon has an atmosphere as well, too. The atmosphere is not as thick as Earth's, but it certainly does have an atmosphere, okay? So there's a lot more to the moon that will be exposed, I feel, in time. And that's really what this operation is all about. So I think there's going to be a lot more exposures surrounding the moon. But what I was getting, it's a big victory. It's a gigantic victory for the counter forces. Okay, so the counter forces, again, are now running the space agencies. So again, there's a transition taking place with NASA right now. And of course, Elon Musk's SpaceX is already working with the Alliance. But like I said, guys, those don't really matter. Those are Hollywood, right? That's just dramatic flair and all that stuff. Again, as many of us know, those aren't really space agencies. But for the rhetoric, for the narrative, those are the narrative space agencies, all right? So the narrative space agencies are basically going under counterforce control right now. So again, that's just being an alibi for something even bigger to be revealed down the road, okay? So it's very, very good. So again, Mary, thank you very much for bringing up that question, because I was looking into that just before, about 20 minutes before I was going on the air. I saw Mary's question. I thought, it'd be a good thing just to check out, because I was really curious about it. So Mary, thank you for providing a really great question. I appreciate it. Sarah, thank you for your donation. Appreciate it. Okay. All right, so let me just go down the list now. We're going to go ahead and get started more with other questions. Okay, so I'm just going to go past the healing questions here. So just give me a moment here, guys. And again, guys, for questions, please no personal questions, okay? Personal questions are for sessions, just semi-personal or general questions only. And thank you. Moyo says, I got super hot during Lulu's healing too. What does that mean? It means you're tuning into spirit at the same time. This is what can happen, guys. Even if I'm doing a healing on one person, you guys can also feel the reciprocal nature of that, because it's spirit. Like I said, I'm not doing the healing, right? I just basically bring forward spirit, and spirit starts working with that person on their issue. And if people start tuning in to what's going on, they can also feel reciprocal healing going on through spirit, okay? It's spirit, guys. We're never going to be able to rationally explain it, but it happens, all right? So if you ever want to do that, it can be done. Okay. Okay, so some of these questions are repeat questions, guys. I know I've been getting some requests from people. It's like, Brad, you don't need to keep answering repeat questions that have happened before, right? So I get it, right? And I'm seeing these repeat questions because some of these people may be new, okay? So there have been some repeat questions here. I've gotten quite a few repeat questions. Linda asked one about the new financial system, okay? I'm not really going to cover that today, guys, because I've talked about that to death, right, about the financial systems. So Linda, if you're new to my channel, I would like you to check out some of the previous webcasts, okay? Go to my very last New Earth Insights webcast, because I believe I was talking about the financial system there, and even the second to last New Earth Insights webcast, because I was talking about that there too, okay? That answers your question, okay? So I'm not going to go too much into it. Let's see if we can find some good kind of fresh questions today, maybe something that I have not tackled, okay? So let's go into to Leica's question here. Leica asked the question, what do the cards say about the Finnish Prime Minister? Because I don't think I've done anything about the Finnish Prime Minister yet. Again, I don't like to give personal opinions of other people, okay? But if it's political, right, if it's something regarding business, their profession, then that's okay. But personally, I won't go into any opinions with others. That's the same with any experts as well too, right? If somebody says, oh, Brad, this person says that, okay, that's great, that's fine. As far as the information goes, I'll share some insight on there. But I'll never look into the person personally and all that stuff. I don't give opinions on people. Right? That's just, it's not the right thing to do. That just becomes too egoic. Right? So let's take a look at the Finnish Prime Minister, what the cards say about him or her. Not too sure if it's a male or female, so you have to bear with me on that. Okay, so Finnish Prime Minister, what is happening with this person? In regards to maybe to their motives as a politician. Okay. So the feeling I'm getting here, so we're getting the Queen of Pentacles in that way. So it feels like this may be someone who could be connected to the counterforces. Okay. I don't believe any other politician from this point forward is going to have any roots to the Dark Cabal anymore. If they did, they've basically turned coat, and now they're working a lot more with the alliance, okay, with the counterforces. So again, we have here the present moment is the Two of Swords, okay? So it looks like this person is going to be doing some peaceful work. It looks like they're going to be working on the side of the alliance and their intentions altogether. They're trying to restore a very shattered government, right? So whatever is happening with this prime minister, it looks like they're moving in the right direction here. So there's a lot of action that needs to be done. To me, this is showing that there's movement taking place. Okay, so 2 represents kind of new partnership, represents new opportunities, new growth, coming together, bonding with the idea of government and starting to change things around. This is basically showing shuffling, right? We're seeing a lot of shuffling. We're seeing a lot of energy being moved around, a lot of movement, okay? And it looks like Finland is going to be getting out of a lot of old sticky situations, okay? So it looks like you guys are on the cusp of something monumental taking place. Again, basically just going through the transition and completely releasing all of this old corrupt debris that has polluted your branch of governments, okay? So this one here is the near future, and this represents the 5 of Cups, right? So to me, it feels like this person may have had ties with the Dark Cabal altogether, okay? It feels like they're kind of being forced to do this and saying, if you really want to be a prime minister here, this is what you have to do, right? So it kind of feels like they've been doing some things that they're not quite accustomed to. But what they are going to do is going to bring about some great change, great significance, great transformation, okay? So like I said, I feel that maybe this person has had roots with the Dark Cabal. But basically in that sense, I think they had the processing take place. I think they had the talking to, right? Saying that you either turn yourself around or we'll have somebody else take your place and you're going to be processed and go through trial. So this is what they do. And I feel like the counterforces do that because they don't want to try and suddenly shake something up. Something that comes out of the blue. If they can still maintain the continuity of these things, then that is what they would prefer to do. But whatever this person is about, it looks like they have changed their minds. It looks like they have turned over a new leaf, and they're going to start moving into much more of a positive direction for the Finnish people. Okay? So Leica, that's what I'm getting for that question. So thank you. All right. Kim says, thank you so much for the meditation and healing time. Gladly. I'm glad you guys are enjoying it. Okay. So let me go down the list here a bit more. Okay, Toby asked the question, hi Brad, are you able to tell, see, or feel if someone is a walk-in? I basically kind of do an interview with that person, right? So sometimes I can get a feeling, but it's never a 100% confirmation. But I have talked to quite a few walk-ins throughout the years, okay? It's just basically in that sense how they tell me a lot about their past, because sometimes as I look into them, I'll see memories, but then they don't really align to those memories. There's a bit of a process to it, right? So it's kind of like if I was to see them as a 5-year-old, maybe I'll get flashbacks and say, okay, like I can see a house that you're in. I can see maybe holding onto a teddy bear and say, oh, I don't remember any of that stuff. I don't even remember anything back when I was 5 years old. I was like, oh, okay. When do remember? I think it was when I was about 10 years old. But before 10 years old, I couldn't remember anything. And then as I'm kind of putting together the pieces and say, okay, this person feels like a walk-in, right? So there's a bit of an interview process to it. Because again, I'll look into the cellular body, because the cellular body still contains those memories pertaining to youth. But the soul that's currently occupying that body right now is not aware of those memories. Okay, so you have to kind of do a little bit of processing, a little bit of an interview with the person. But yes, I've encountered quite a few walk-ins in that sense. There's men and women who I've talked to. In that sense, they don't remember their childhood. They don't remember what they were like, maybe like 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 years old, whatever, right? And they have a gap. And they say, yeah, I don't know what I can do. I've even tried hypnosis, and I have no distinct memory about my own experiences as a child. And basically, as I put all the pieces together, and so it's because you weren't in this body as a child. This is what we would call a walk-in, right? So if you guys do not know what I'm talking about pertaining to a walk-in, okay? A walk-in is a soul that takes over the contract for another soul who is now ready to leave this body and leave this life. This is not something that is done through your conscious self, okay? This is a soul agreement, okay? So through a soul agreement at a certain point of life, a soul vacates the body and another soul goes into that body and takes over the life contract, okay? Now that soul that departs the body is basically in a type of waiting queue. Okay, they're kind of like in a waiting room, and they're watching the life unfold because they still have a contract that they have to oversee how the soul that is now the walk-in is living their life. Now, in rare occasions, some walk-ins can actually talk to the original soul host, the host that basically gave up the body, and they may actually be able to interact with that host. Sometimes they can, sometimes they can't. It just depends upon the agreements and the abilities there of the new host that now takes over the new body. Okay, there's a fellow on YouTube who actually has documented his whole life as a walk-in. His name is William Linville. Okay, not too sure if you guys have heard of him, but you can check him out. He's actually on YouTube. His story is quite fascinating, right? So even before he came along, I was being a lot more aware of walk-ins, but I noticed him, it was quite a long time ago. I think it was about 2011 I was aware of him. And I was listening to a lot of his stories, and I thought it was absolutely fascinating. But he is quite a very knowledgeable being. But he has documented his entire experience as a walk-in, right? So if you guys want to know more about that, I'd suggest you look at William Linville. Okay, so William, last name Linville, Linville, William Linville, okay? And I'd say look back into his older videos, maybe going back into the 2000s. And he tells a lot of great information. You can see how much he's changed as well too, because he used to talk like a mile a minute, and now he's been a lot more at a better pace with his communication. But he was basically a walk-in as well too. So he basically had the previous host leave the body, and he came into the body and started. He had to go through the hospital. He had to go through surgeries. He had to go through immense changes to actually operate the body vehicle. So he has some very fascinating stories. But I've talked to other walk-ins as well too, but it's not something you can just kind of instantly feel. Sometimes intuition will tell me, oh, this person's a walk-in, so okay, I'll keep that in mind, but I still want to interview the person and get an idea, right? If they have, and that's usually how you can tell if you're talking to a walk-in. They have no memories of earlier life. Okay, depends when the walk-in soul comes in, whether it's the adult years or teenage years or what have you, but there's a gap in their memory and they don't remember that. That's simply because that memory belongs to the previous host. That's their akasha. Now, going into the body always contains that cellular memory to a certain degree. But because we operate on a certain conscious level of being, we may not be able to access that cellular memory. But one who is highly intuitive can tune into that body and actually see memories. But then they say, well, I don't remember that at all. And that's because there's a walk-in experience. Okay? So again, that soul gives up that body because that's all they wanted to experience, but they did not want to terminate the body. They basically had a soul that came in and says, well, whenever you feel like you want to be done with the body, I'll come in and I'll take over your contract and I'll continue it. Okay? And that's the nature of the walk-in soul. So the soul is taking over the life contract while the original host is in a waiting queue, observing everything so that they can learn from the experience additionally. Okay, that in a nutshell represents the walk-in. Okay, so Toby, good questions. Very good question. Thank you for that. Rice says the best trapper, Bliss Farts, would be a great band name. All right, man. You can take it if you want. I don't need any royalties. Go for it. All right, so. Okay, here's one from TBJ Fan. TBJ Fan says, hi Brad, can the cards give any insight into when we'll be able to regrow lost or extracted teeth? We have to kind of rephrase the question. It's not a question of when, but a question of how, okay? Now, I really don't need the cards to give this answer, okay? But I'll give the cards anyways, okay? So I would say, let's rephrase your question a little bit. How can we regrow lost or extracted teeth, okay? And then we'll see what the cards have to say about that. But I'll give you the answer as well, too, okay? I'm just giving you guys the cards because you guys pretty much want to see the cards. I don't need the cards to give you guys these answers, but a lot of you want to see the cards, right? So I'm happy to do it. But I can give all these answers to all these questions without touching cards at all. But I know a lot of you guys are big fans of cards, so. All right. So basically the idea is that yes, you can certainly regrow teeth, but again, the whole idea is if you're still in the pain and agony and the suffering of feeling that they'll never grow back, it's your blockage of your belief, that's actually what's preventing them from growing back. You become too obsessed with thinking, I got to grow my teeth back. I got to grow them back. Oh my God, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Right? We go into worry. We go into personal ruin. And that is what prevents the idea of the teeth growing back. So this is, again, is telling you to get yourself in the state of readiness and move yourself inwards. Okay? And as you move inwards, then the opportunity for triumph, for a great transformation, right, for new success, new ideas of being able to bring your teeth back can happen, okay? So the whole idea is that this is where the majority of people mess up, okay? They mess up because they think that they're in ruin, that their teeth are gone. Oh my God, I'm ugly, I'm hideous, I don't want people to look at me, I got a missing tooth right here, I don't want people to see it. What can I do? Can I grow this back? Oh my God, I gotta grow it back. I gotta grow it back. There's gotta be some way to grow this back. There's gotta be some way. And then you start going into panic mode. And as long as you're in that fear, and as long as you still feel like you're some grotesque person because you have a missing tooth or two, or an extracted tooth or anything of that nature, that you think you're hideous, oh my God, well then that's exactly what's preventing you from having any opportunity of teeth growing back. Now here's the truth, guys. You have to learn how to go into trance. Okay? You have to learn how to start going into something like yogic trances. One of the things you may want to look into is something like Yoga Nidra, okay? But don't do this as a means to an end. This is the problem that people have. This is why I'm teaching you guys from day one how to go deeply into yourself and how everything can be repaired, how everything can be restored. Even if it's not about the idea of growing teeth, you may start to lead into something that can help with maybe putting an artificial tooth in or something of that nature, okay? It doesn't always have to be the idea of regrowing teeth. Now, let's take a look at the idea of advanced hypnosis, okay? There have been people who have been hypnotized, who have been able to walk over hot coals and not feel a thing. Their feet are not even burned. There have been people who have had lacerations on their arm, who are therefore being hypnotized and being told that their arm is completely better, and people are actually seeing that laceration on their arm being completely healed up before their eyes in real time, okay? There are people, again, this even goes back to urban legends. There are grandmothers who are able to lift up cars to help a loved one who is threatened and being crushed from a car accident, helping to save their life. And they're able to lift up cars, okay? From teenagers to adults to elderly who can do this. All this is, ladies and gentlemen, is concentrated thought, right? The emergency, the urgency that's there concentrates yourself. So what you're doing is your entire reality is based upon that state of concentration. So this is, again, they're in a trance. They're basically going into a trance state, and that concentrated thought enables them the action to do something that we would consider to be miraculous. Okay? So if you have a big laceration on your arm, but you're able to go into a hypnotic trance state, and you're able to see that entire laceration heal up within a matter of seconds, it can be done. That's how powerful you are. But do you know what prevents you from doing that? Your ego, your conscious self. As long as the ego and as long as the intellectual mind is in the way, you'll never be able to do that. Okay? You have to learn to silence the mind. This is why I'm teaching you guys about the abode, right? Where you silence the mind, you keep yourself quiet, and you are now just in the state of complete and total surrender. Now we can either stay there, or again, if we have basically quieted our mind as well too, we can now go into a trance state. Okay? Every single one of us has the ability to go into trance, but I can't really teach it to you, right? It's something that you just have to kind of feel in that way. And like I said, the key to it is quieting the mind, is going into the state of silence. This is why we're using something like Yoga Nidra, for example, to go into a hypnotic trance state. And as you go into that hypnotic trance state, if one of those urgencies of concentration that you want to bring in is regrowing your teeth, you'll feel all of your teeth regrowing in your mouth like that, because you are concentrated. It is not you that's doing it. You could refer to it as the superconscious mind. Even Dolores Cannon talked about this. Okay? So all you're really doing is you're going into the superconscious mind. So again, through that concentrated state of being, like I said, we get ourselves quiet, we go into the abode, and then if we want to, then we move ourselves into a deeper state of trance. And then we're able to go into that hypnagogic trance-like state. And like I said, okay, I got 2 missing teeth right here, and I'm ready to regrow that, and it happens. But it's not done by your conscious intellectual self. That's the whole idea. The superconscious takes care of it. Okay? The superconscious is what's bringing that forward. The superconscious, again, relays to the subconscious, that relays, therefore, certain bits of information to the conscious self. But the conscious self is the stupidest part of ourselves, right? It's the dumbest part of ourselves. It's the most idiotic and ignorant part of ourselves. And people try to regrow their teeth by working with their conscious self. You can't do it, okay? You have to go into stillness. You go into trance. You concentrate yourself. And if you decide to regrow your teeth that way, if you want to, if you're feeling like you're paralyzed, right? If you can't really feel anything from the waist down, and you go into a hypnagogic trance state where the conscious self and the intellectual mind is not at all present, you can now completely regenerate your back and start walking again. Okay? That's how powerful this is. And then I get the questions, oh, Brad, teach me how to do this, teach me how to do that. We can't teach you, right? It's a trance state. You're not conscious. Okay? This is why quite commonly it comes through hypnosis. As Dolores Cannon would talk about, that she would work to bring her clients in the somnambulistic level of trance. That's where you got to be. If you guys want any kind of accurate information to come together, you basically want a hypnotic session in the somnambulistic level. Okay? You got to get the ego completely out of the way. Either that, or you have a person who knows how to move their ego out of the way and can give some profound information. But commonly, through the common clients that we get through hypnosis, I'm not a hypnotist, by the way, but I've studied some of it. Okay? But again, we have to get that ego out of the way, right? I see quite a few hypnotists on YouTube sharing this information and that stuff, and I can still sense, listening to the person, their ego is still intact. That's not genuine information, no offense, but that's not genuine info, okay? You gotta get your ego out of the way. So basically, to hypnotists, if they really want to have some really profound information and knowledge coming forward, you have to get your client into a somnambulistic level. If you don't, then you risk ego contamination, okay? And like I said, I've seen it a lot. But once we get into the superconscious, and you have maybe a hypnotherapist with you and guiding you through the process, if that's an intention that you want, the hypnotherapist can even dialogue with your higher self and saying, yes, Bob here would like to regrow his teeth. And then they say, okay, well, this is the reason why Bob can't regrow his teeth. The hypnotherapist saying, all right, is there a way that we can clear these things out? Yes, this is what you do, etc., etc., etc. The cleaning happens, and then once the cleaning happens, can we now regrow Bob's teeth? Yes. He wakes up, his teeth are in his mouth. Okay? That's the whole idea. You're going into these hypnagogic trance states, concentrated thought, and you're making it happen. Okay? It's a secret to everything, guys. That's how you levitate. That's how you teleport. Okay? That's how you regrow teeth. That's how you repair lacerations. That's how you're able to go right out of body and go wherever you want. It's all concentrated thinking. But the intellect and the conscious mind has to get the heck out of the equation altogether. And if you do that, then absolutely you'll be able to regrow teeth. Okay? So TBJ fan, that's the answer again. Not something that the cards can really give you, but it's kind of just summarizing exactly what I've been saying here. Okay? Thank you for your question. Okay, here's one from EP. EP says, are most of the MPs in Canada part of the movie and are aware of what's going on? Most of the MPs. Okay, so let's take a look at the members of parliament, or most of the members of parliament in Canada. Are they aware to what's really going on behind the scenes? Okay, let's take a look. They are very much aware of what's going on, right? But they feel like they're in bondage because if they speak up, they could lose their position, they could get hurt, right? It's basically kind of like a gag order in that way. And if they violate that, then they can be in deep trouble. They can risk losing everything, right? So yes, the answer to your question is yes. The majority of them do know what's going on, but they know if they say anything, then they're kind of fair game, okay? So if they try and open up and say, oh, this is exactly what's happening, this is exactly why this scam's been going on, etc., you know, they can basically kiss their job goodbye. They could have friends or relatives hurt, right? You know, kind of like the gangster mentality, the mafia mentality, okay? But the good news is in that sense, they are eventually going to open up. There's going to be a point where they feel like there's a safety net because, again, that's what's happening right now. There's a transition taking place within the Canadian government, and there's a safety net under them. And I think in time, we may see it might take a few months, but we're going to see the entire rhetoric change, everything, okay? So this is the near future card. So this could be next 3 to 6 months, for example. So yes, EP, they're very much aware. Most of them, I would say, are aware of what's going on. And the ones who are not are basically attending government meetings just like this. If they don't know what's going on, they're plugging their ears. But the majority of the MPs, the members of Parliament of Canada, are very much aware of the corruption, are very much aware of what's been taking place. I think quite a few of them do want to speak out, but they know there'll be repercussions if they don't. But because there's a transition that's happening right now, I think there will be a safety net here in the next little while for a lot of them to speak out because they're very much aware of what's taking place. Okay? So perhaps in the next few months, we'll probably see a lot more of them maybe coming forward, those of them who are brave, who want to do it. And the second question you have, EP, is will the school system crash this year in Canada? Okay. I'll take this question because I get this question a lot about school systems. So are the school systems in Canada looking to crash this year? Well, from what I'm seeing, they're not going to crash, okay? But they're going to be reworked, right? People in that sense have been seeing a lot of the burden of trying to bring their kids. This may also represent the child as well, too, right? Being completely weighed down by the educational systems. And I would just say to them, get them out of the educational system. Just get them out altogether, right? Find alternatives. But there's going to be some breaking down of the systems internally, right? So there's going to be a lot of revaluation. I think this is really what 2023 represents because it's a year of reset and it's a year of revaluation. Everything in regards to how schools have been run are going to be looked at a lot more significantly. I think there's going to be a lot more good times. I think there's going to be parents and teachers coming together, and I think they're going to be standing up. So I do not see it crashing, no, but I see it being completely and totally reformatted, okay? So there's going to be some work behind the scenes. Like I said, I think parents and teachers are working together, and they really are going to make a difference. And I think this is going to lead to some protests. I think it's going to lead to some new ideas and new innovations that are going to come forward and actually make schools tolerable for children to go to again. So not a breakdown of the system, no, but certainly a repairing of the system, reevaluation of the system, and reintegration of the system. That's the idea, but it's certainly not crashing, no. Okay. Thank you, EP, for your questions. All right. Okay. Okay, oops, I went all the way down to the chat here. So we got about 20 minutes left, so I think we'll probably take about 4 or 5 questions before we wrap up. Okay, sorry guys, I lost my spot here. The chat just suddenly shifted me back down to the bottom of the chat, so I do not know where I was. Okay, there we go. Okay, here's from LightRider111. LightRider says, "Hi Brad, will the digital ID system be implemented in Australia?" Okay, so let's take a look at Australia and if the digital ID system is going to be implemented there. So there's 2 possibilities. Number 1, not a chance. Number 2, if it is not going to be under Dark Cabal regulation. Okay, so basically in that sense, it may represent that there's a surprise going on, right? Something that maybe people are not expecting. It can represent a surprise pertaining to the digital ID. I think that digital IDs may still happen, but they're not going to happen in the control way that they were planned to have happen, right? So it looks like whatever the funk was that related to the digital ID pertaining to spying, lack of privacy, control, all of that's being eliminated right now. Okay, so basically the whole idea is that the new type of identification system is actually going to be a lot more harmonious. So in that sense, privacy will be privacy, security will be security. So I think they're still kind of working on that right now. But basically there still is the intention of trying to enforce that old system, but again, I don't think that's going to happen. So I think this is really looking at the Dark Cabal's situation. They wanted to enforce that digital ID. They want to try and keep track of everybody. They want to make sure nobody has privacy. They want to continue to survey. They want to continue to control. But it doesn't look like that's going to go forward for them. They've been trying to push it and try to push it, but that's not what I'm seeing here. I'm seeing like all of that's falling on its face altogether. So new seeds are being planted. I don't think there's an immediate update in regards to what is taking place with the new IDs that are going to be coming together, but a lot of them are actually going to be secure from what I'm seeing here. Okay, this is again what the cards are telling me, guys, even if I'm looking at this intuitively. Just a moment. It feels like there's going to be an exposure. There's going to be a lot more exposure. I think it's going to be grassroots at first, and I think it's going to build up in popularity. And that is going to completely scrap any possible intention for some type of digital ID to actually come forward. It may come through like a documentary, or it may come through like a large rally or some large protest, specifically for Australia as well too, but I think it's also going to affect a lot of the world as well too. There's a lot of these kind of expose documentaries, films that could be coming out as well too, that are really just going to put a complete and total wrench in the works to end the machine of the Dark Cabal altogether. So I feel like there's documentaries that are already being planned that may surround something pertaining to digital ID or to, again, surveillance, control, all of that. And basically that these will probably debut very soon. And documentaries do a very, very good job of awakening people. So we may start to see some documentaries. If it's not documentaries, then it's something in regards to large riots, or not riots, but rallies. I don't think it'll come down to riots, but it could maybe in certain countries. But rallies, protests as well too, just people having a voice and speaking up. It'll certainly be known in the alternative stream. And then I think it'll start to break itself out into the mainstream about the dangers of this digital ID plan that they've been doing. Basically, if we look at the World Economic Forum, guys, they're just made to look like complete and total asses right now. Okay, and that's basically the point. That's their part of their exposure and saying, yeah, guys, we're just trying to take over the world here. And they're being very, very apparent about it, right? They're being very transparent with that. That's the point. It's meant to be like that. That's how you know the World Economic Forum has been completely taken over. If they are trying to reveal and expose all of their despicable plans to the entire planet, that's letting you know that they've been completely exposed and are meant to look like complete and total imbeciles. So that everything regarding their umbrella falls apart. Nobody trusts them, right? Because they already understand what they stand for. So that's the whole idea. So again, people get freaked out because of why is the World Economic Forum saying all these things and stuff like that? Because that's all part of the exposure. They've been taken over. They're done. They're not legitimate in regards to anything that they want to do. If that was the case, they'd be trying to keep a lot of these things secret and they'd be speaking in code. But they're not doing that. They're being very transparent with all of these things that they wanted to do, and that is the perfect sign. That's the signpost, guys. Those are the signposts that they've been taken over, that they are being exposed, and that the counter forces have basically made them their bitch. The best way I could put it, right? So World Economic Forum is the counter forces bitch. Best way I could put it. Okay. And that's what's taking place right now. So they're just deliberately exposing themselves so that people can just probably hurl these stones at them and saying, we want no part of what you even consider the world to be. And that's why you're seeing their downfall right now. I did a reading on the World Economic Forum a couple months ago, and I'm seeing that much more apparent right now. Just seeing in that sense about what they're exposing, what they're trying to do, etc., etc. It's all part of the game, guys. It's all part of the movie. It's them in a sinking ship. So that's what I can say. All right. Thank you very much, Light Rider. Okay. Fishy Fun 57, just an update here. While I was in time for the group healing, I feel my pain lighten greatly. It's such a blessing. I'm not even good with visualization. I feel a lot of love and gratitude. Great, Fishy. And you don't have to worry about visualization. Just feel, right? And that's going to help you to heal. Thank you for your update. Okay. Okay, this one here is from Sensei. Question is, hi Brad, we currently still have a monarchy here in the GB, but will the people eventually be free from the adultation and find out the true agenda of the royal family? Well, from what I've gotten also from previous readings as well too, some members of the royal family are actually in the counterforce jurisdiction, counterforce alliance in that way. So again, everything has to play out through the narrative. Now, we do not know exactly how long this narrative is going to play out, right? Even if I was to do a reading on you, that would just be an estimate, and that would not be a guarantee, okay? I'd say we still got a couple more years at least of the narrative to go, okay? So 2022, 2023, and probably into 2024 as well too. We still got a lot of the narrative to go. There's a lot of stuff we have to expose, guys. This is not just a small pile of stuff. This is a garbage heap, right? There's a lot of stuff that needs to be exposed. But no, I mean, it all depends on the person. You see, again, I could come out onto CNN, guys, and spill the beans. And maybe they say, okay, Brad, we want you on CNN. We want you just to, no one's going to cut you off or anything like that. You just go ahead and you expose everything from what you have researched. Nobody's going to cut you off. We're going to give you the airtime. Go right ahead and do it. Okay, I'll do it. And so I spend 5, 10, 15 minutes on CNN telling you guys about all this stuff that I've been getting. What happens? Now that should cause everybody to be out of the loop with the royal family and stuff, right? No. Because it's not about that, guys. It's about the person. Okay? We are not robots to be programmed, right? Of course, that's really what the attempt has been, but we are souls, right? We are divine beings. So again, even if it's not just me, if it's somebody else, a person who has some high authority in that sense, and they come on the broadcast waves and they start sharing all this stuff about debunking all this stuff, you're still going to have people that are doubting that person. You're going to still have people that are going to want to fight and say, no, that can't be true. That can't be true about the royal family. No, it can't be true, etc., etc. That's the whole idea, guys. It's not about that. It's not about this exposure. Exposure is coming out, but it's not calling itself exposure. It's all very silent. It's for people to make up all their minds. It actually works a lot better when there's tragedy in the way. When there's tragedy in the way, it actually gives people a lot more inspiration to stand up for themselves and take control of their lives. That's why the exposure is working in the way that it is. It's not about, guys, we're all happy right now. This is the exposure, and now humanity is lifting in freedom. Ha 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 ha. Doesn't work. Okay? It's not to say that they haven't tried that, but the people don't respond to that. People honestly don't respond to something positive that's coming out of this right away. They have to see the tragedy. This is just how we're wired. This is how we've been programmed, unfortunately, right? They have to see all of these tragedies. And as they see the tragedies and they start to see that it's getting worse and worse and worse, they finally hit rock bottom, and now they're open to the greatest change. And that is what brings about profound change, right? I would love to say that people can just come on the airwaves and just start sharing all about peace and love and happiness and joy and prosperity and divinity and all that. It's a wonderful feeling, and it's the truth, really. But unfortunately, the majority of the people on this planet are heavily programmed. Because they're heavily programmed, they are only really going to get out of this when they feel like the entire world is falling apart. Doesn't bring me any joy to say that, guys, but it's the truth, okay? I'm not saying that to my subscribers, right? My subscribers, a lot of them are doing the inner work, and they have moved themselves into a very positive, uplifting, beautiful state of being, okay? But for everybody else, like I said, when you're looking at the about 2/3 majority of the planet, you're looking at people that are just completely sunk into the worst fear, into the worst depression, into the worst animosity. Oh my God, I'm going to lose my family. I'm going to lose my house. I'm going to lose my my bank account. I'm going to lose this. I'm going to lose that. I'm going to lose. I'm going to lose. I'm going to lose. I'm going to lose. And basically, when they start going into hitting rock bottom, where they feel like everything's going to be lost, something within them surges. And it's like watching these chains break away and saying, I'm not going to put up with this anymore. I'm going to start taking charge of myself. I'm going to start making things better. When you hit rock bottom, you are open to the greatest change. That's what's happening. And if you guys are relying on mainstream media to try and tell you exactly what's going on through these exposés, to make it feel like your earth is going to be all nice and crispy and wonderful and joyful, unfortunately, you're deluding yourself. Okay? You have to go hit rock bottom. If you're a person that's just been struggling, right? You're living in the base chakras and you're struggling and everything's falling apart, well, then they're going to continue to make everything fall apart until they hit that break. And then when they break, now something monumental happens. This goes back to what I've told you guys. Through tragedy comes unity. Okay? You cannot just start bringing unified information on the mainstream airwaves right now and thinking that that's going to bring you into unity. No, people are like, oh, well, that's all good for them, but what about us poor mortals? We're down here. We're suffering. We're at the bottom of the barrel, right? If anything, that's going to cause them to get more angry. So this is their strategy. Their strategy in that sense is that they're going to try and feel like they're really pumping in the gasoline here and really creating this inferno so that people have stood up and said, damn it, I've had enough. I'm breaking out of these chains. I'm going to make a difference. I don't want to hear this anymore. I'm going to make a change. Brilliant. That is the prelude to coming into your light. That is the prelude to coming into the divine, right? I know that. I went into the deepest, darkest recesses of depression and loneliness when I first started this, right? I said goodbye to my ex-wife. I said goodbye to my house. I wasn't able to see my children, right? And I was in the lowest point of my life. But I had all of these abilities that were forming within myself. So even though I went through great depression, I went through great hardship, I hit rock bottom. And then I built myself back up. And I surged upwards, relating to the type of work that you guys are seeing me do right now. That's what I had to do. I had to go through rock bottom. I had to go through the greatest suffering and sacrifice of my entire life, because this, I knew, was what I was here for. And I made the difference. Okay? Brad didn't just come in this with a big smile on his face and all of a sudden he was great and everything came to him. No, guys, I lost everything. I lost everyone. I lost everything. I could barely even pay rent. I was almost out on the street, right? I lost absolutely everything because I believed in what I was doing. I believed in what was coming forward and I wanted to go all the way. And so I again broke the chains and I started to make my uphill climb. Okay? So I did not come in this riding a unicorn. Okay? I came into this rolling down a very steep mountain and hitting the bedside and hitting rock bottom and saying, oh my God, I've lost everything. I didn't really have anything to my name, nothing at all. I was in a small apartment, a cheap apartment, barely had anything, basically just getting food from food banks, getting donated furniture and so forth. I really had nothing, right? And just scraping by in that way until I decided to make a change. And I started going up the hill, right? I started going up that mountain. And now here I am today, happier than I've ever been. But I went through complete and total hell to get here. That's the truth, guys. I'm not BSing you at all, okay? That's what you got to do. You are not riding your waves of success on a unicorn, thinking that, oh my God, this is all spirited and joyful and free, and I'm going to be happy. And no. You're going to be plummeting down that mountain, doing somersaults, plummeting down a mountain until you crash right into a big boulder. And now you're at rock bottom. Now you got to make your way up. Okay? It's what I had to do. It's what a lot of people, I've been talking to tens of thousands of people over the past 14 years, guys, all over the world. And the majority of them have gone through exactly what I've gone through. They had to basically plummet themselves, hit rock bottom, and then make their way back up. That's how you have to go. That's where I am right now. I've had to go all the way up to the top by starting from the bottom. This is what's happening as well too, guys. We talk about a royal family and thinking that what we see on TV is going to liberate ourselves. No, it's not going to liberate you. You are going to liberate you. You are going to liberate you because at some particular point you're going to snap. And you said, I've had enough. I'm going to stand up and I'm going to shift and I'm going to make my life brilliant because I realize I'm the only one who can change myself. Nobody else can change me. The TV can't change me. I don't care what's on the screen. I don't care if there's gigantic extraterrestrial ships and CNN's filming that right now. I don't care. Is that going to make my life better? Nope. I'm going to make my life better because I'm willing to change. So by you being able to change, that's what's going to make the difference. So don't worry about all this stuff about exposés of the royal family or exposés about our financial system or all that stuff like that. That's not going to bring you any peace, guys. That is a void that you're trying to fill within yourself because you're not willing to look inside yourself to be the change that you need to be. That is what's going to elevate you, okay? So, Sensei, that's my answer to your question. Okay, and thank you very much, Lisa, for your post there. I appreciate it. Okay, Ellie asks, hi Brad, could you please have a look again into the current energies for the autumn? Will the media start telling the truth? Even if they tell the truth, guys, and I know what you're saying. Ellie, I know what you're trying to ask, but even if they tell you the truth, guys, that's still not going to resolve, okay? You have to resolve yourself. Now, we'll certainly look into that, okay? We'll look at it on a worldwide level for the fall, okay? I know a lot of you guys want to say, oh my God, the media is telling the truth. Guys, you can't even tell the truth through the idea of words, okay? There can be accuracy, there can be correctness, there can be facts, but there's no truth. You will never find truth in the mind, okay? The truth exists beyond the mind. It is the true nature of who you are. When you go into silence and stillness and surrender, that's the truth, right? Because the truth comes to you when you're like that. But I know what you're saying, Ellie, okay? About the idea of the media trying to shape up and all that stuff like that. Don't hold your breath, okay? That's what I'm going to tell you right off the bat. But let's take a look here into the times, okay, with the fall time coming for the world. Are we going to see, what are the current energies, and are we going to see the media shape up, right? Let's take a look. All right. So the past, like I said, this really summarizes the mainstream media as well, too. The mainstream media has never, ever, ever been the beacon of fact. It's never been the beacon of accuracy. It just shares what it wants its owners to tell it to share, okay? It's nothing but scripts, guys. Mainstream media is Hollywood. That's all it is. It's what it's always been, and it will still continue to be that. Now, there may be opportunities where the media may start to improve and actually start giving news instead of entertainment. But again, it's still playing off the narrative. The narrative is nothing but false scripts. Even when we're looking at the counterforce stuff, like I said with the moon shuttle, right, the moon rocket, okay? They're still using that as an alibi. They're saying, oh yeah, NASA's doing this and SpaceX is doing that, but they're not even really doing that stuff. That's dramatic flair. And guys, that's from the counterforces, okay? The counterforces also use the official narrative because it's all part of a coming of age ceremony. It's all part of a shifting here, of people realizing the only change I'm ever going to see is through myself, okay? So, mainstream media, they're still puppets, okay? Looks like they're still going to be puppets. They're fooling people, okay? This is basically what the fooling is coming up here. They're basically trying to tell all these things that are not the truth. They are not accurate. They are not fact, okay? And they're still going to play with that continuously throughout the fall. It's still going to confuse people, right? All these things that are going on, oh, this person says this, that person says that, that media network says this, etc. What's the truth? What's going on? Okay? That's what's going to continue throughout the fall. This is what you have to do. Go inwards. Turn off the television. Turn off your computer. Go inwards and start working with yourself. I have a lot of material here on my channel, guys, that can help you to begin that. So in the near future, we are going to see some shakeup with the media, yes. But basically, it's almost like looking at a battle. It's like looking at a fight, okay? It's like media battling media, and that's how it's going to continue to happen. Some media is under the control of the counterforces, and others that are still in control of the dark cabal, they're butting heads. And they're bashing about, oh, this is what this person says, and this is my response to that. This is what this person says here, and this is my opinion about that. That's how they battle each other, right? It becomes more and more battles, and in time, yes, the counterforces are going to basically take over all media, but they still have to play out the narrative so that transition can happen. When we look maybe at the distant future, maybe we look in the next couple of years, we may actually have some networks that will actually work to tell factual information, okay? But that's not the ploy right now. The ploy right now is this narrative. And this narrative may still be going on for about another year or two, at least. Okay? And so as long as that narrative exists, they're still going to be playing with the narrative. Once this narrative ends, and we can basically see maybe a clean sweep of everything representing the dark cabal has come to an end, then we're probably going to see some changes in the idea of MSM and seeing that they're actually going to be a factual news source rather than the idea of Hollywood entertainment, because that's what it is right now. Does not matter if it's counterforce, does not matter if it is dark cabal, okay? It's still entertainment. It's still Hollywood, okay? And like I said, I've said that just in regards to the moon situation, where they are just using these Hollywood things, because again, guys, a lot of the counterforces that are behind the scenes are ex-cabal members. They're playing the exact same game. They're just using it in a different polarity, right? But the true counterforces are us. We're the true counterforces. There's the behind-the-scenes guys. Yes, they're doing certain things. They're starting to rebalance things. They're starting to shift things. They're starting to move into transition, and that's great. But the true counterforces is us, is the people, right? When we stand up for ourselves and say, I don't need this slave box anymore, click. I don't need to listen to slave radio, click. I don't need to listen to slave internet, click. And I start turning all that stuff off, and I start changing myself. That's the most brilliant thing that's going to ever happen to you, okay? Work with yourself. Go inwards, as I've talked about so many times, okay? Thank you, Ellie, for your question. So it looks like the fall is still going to continue with a lot of that stuff worldwide, okay? All right, so guys, that was the last question. So we're out of time. It is now 1:01 p.m. So thank you, everybody, for joining me for New Earth TV Live this week. I will be back next week with another episode. More videos are going to be coming this way this week as well, too. Thank you, guys. Thank you for your questions. Thanks for joining me with the healing today and the guided meditation. And again, remember, feel free to check out healingcodecards.com. Like I said, the healing code cards are now at a reduced price, the printed and the digital editions. So go check that out at healingcodecards.com. And of course, I am still doing private sessions. I'm going to do it past September, for September, October, and November. Wednesdays are available for September right now. 20, 30, and 45-minute sessions, as well as 3-question private email sessions on newearthteachings.com. Blessings to you all. Thank you so much, guys. Be well. Namaskar. May it be well with you. Take care. Thank you very much for checking out the New Earth Teachings YouTube channel. Feel free to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And you can check out the websites, newearthteachings.com, where you can order a private session, 3 questions by email, EQ method, and a lot more. And you can also check out healingcodecards.com, where you can grab your mind deck, your body deck, and of course the brand new Body Deck Special Edition. All of these are available in digital editions as well. And you can also get a shirt just like this through healingcodeshop.com, where you can experience the healing codes in apparel form. So feel free to check out these websites. Thank you so much, and I'll speak to you again in the next video. Be well.